Hello, everyone out there. Thanks for tuning in again. My name is Ashley Bickle. I work in the recruitment department at Loyalist College, and I have with me today Tom Deacon. Today's info session is all about our Justice Studies programs. So we're going to discuss that today, which is fantastic. I'm actually a grad from the Police Foundations program at Loyalist, so I'm really excited to do this info session with Tom. Tom, thanks for being here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your professional background?
Well, thanks for having me, Ashley. Glad to be here. Good to see everybody out there. Glad you guys could join us today. So I joined Loyalist 10 years ago. It's hard to believe, but it was 2010 when I joined Loyalist, and I was a part-time faculty member at that point while I was still working in the field. And so that is common to many folks who are still working in the industry, and then they come over and teach part-time at the college as well. So you're getting that current relevant experience from your instructors. And I did that for a little while, and then I joined college full-time and left the criminal justice system to work full-time at Loyalist, and I've been here since. My background in the field, I started out working in an open custody facility with youth who were in conflict with the law, and then I went and became a probation parole officer and did that right up until when I joined the college, actually.
Amazing. Yes, that industry background that our professors have is such a huge thing. So justice studies is such a huge term, and I know that from being a grad from the programs. Can you tell us a little bit about the individual justice studies programs within that kind of realm?
Absolutely. So each of the programs, and there are four of them, as you know: Community Justice Services, Customs and Border Services, Police Foundations, and Protection Security Investigations. Each one of those has a little bit of a different focus. But all of them lead to careers where grads really get an opportunity to make a difference in the lives of the community members that they work with, and they contribute to the community in very meaningful ways. So, for example, community justice services involves helping at-risk clients, so people who are in conflict with the law, and it helps them get back on track with their lives. Whereas the other programs, there's a little bit more emphasis on law enforcement. So, for example, Customs and Border Services, as you can appreciate, right, would involve, securing Canada's borders. Police Foundations involves public sector policing, and then Protection Security Investigations involves things like private investigations, private security, and things like that. And these are essential careers. They're in demand, they're well-paying, and you get to work with people. So this is a people industry. You get a great opportunity to give back to your community in very meaningful ways. And that's what we hear from our grads, is that they make a difference. They make a difference in people's lives.
That's awesome. Yeah, they certainly do. Can you tell us a little bit about how the students learn within these different programs?
They learn by doing. We do a lot of hands-on. We do a lot of experiential simulation, mock exercises to really develop their skills. So I'll just give you some examples. The students in Protection Security Investigations, some sort of highlights where they get to really learn from. They engage in arrest and use of force simulations. They get to go to a security technology trade show to see the latest and greatest in emerging security technology. They do surveillance exercises. They conduct virtual reality crime scene investigations. So just some highlights of how they learn. In Police Foundations, the students get to take part in community exercises with police services. So crowd and riot control training with police. We actually had a service come down, grab a bunch of our students on the bus, take them up to a training facility, and the students got to throw rocks at the police. I said to them, this is your one and only chance you'll ever get to do this, so enjoy it. But they did it with the police, and they got a certificate for doing it. We do mock evacuations of long-term care facilities. They get an opportunity to do moot court, participate in a variety of community events with our local police service. In community justice services, the students learn, again, by doing lots of hands-on. So we work with the drug detector dogs. They come in and do searches with us. It helps train the dogs, and the students get the opportunity to do that. They get to go to field trips, correctional sites, correctional facilities. They get an opportunity to do work integrated learning. So this is something new for us. For example, this semester, a project that we did in one of my courses with some of our students, and to my knowledge, actually, this is the first of its kind. I mean, I could be wrong, but highly unlikely, because as you would know as a grad, you can't film in a Canadian courtroom.
Absolutely.
So we just finished, and we just finished a project where our students got to go into a live courtroom with a sitting judge, Crown, defense, and they actually simulated a mock first appearance. And the whole idea behind that was we would film it, and then it was part of an assignment in the class where the students prepared a video for youth who are going to court to help prepare them for the course experience. So that's a real world project they're doing for credit in my course. They got a course credit for doing that. So students have also developed programs for community agencies and work with actual clients in applied research projects. Our custom students get an opportunity to engage in hands-on learning in a variety of ways as well. And one of the things that we do for them is we have acquired just recently, the last couple of years, a border crossing booth. So when you go through a land crossing, those booths, we have one at the college. I don't know if you've seen it, but we brought it in on a flatbed truck, and the students get to be in that little booth and do primary inspection. They also have a course where it's called Forensic Search of Motor Vehicle. So they go in and learn how to do a forensic search of a motor vehicle in an automotive lab. We have a mock airport simulation border crossing where the students engage with other programs. For example, this semester what they did is they had passengers coming through a simulated border crossing, and one of the passengers was pregnant, went into labor. So the border services students worked with that person, then they engaged with the paramedic students in the paramedic program, and then they took that person up to the nursing lab where the nursing students took over. So this is really cross-program simulation. So, I mean, it couldn't really be any more hands-on than that.
Yes, that is really incredible and super hands-on, which is amazing. I know I learned best by being hands-on. So what an incredible experience that our Justice Studies students get to partake in. So pretty cool stuff there. Now, I personally know this, again, from being a grad of the Justice Studies realm. Can you tell us a little bit about that first common year that students can look forward to when they take any one of these Justice Studies programs?
Absolutely. So many students know that they want to do something in criminal justice, but they don't necessarily know about all of the career opportunities, and there are many, and it's a big field. And so they come in and they know they want to work with people, they know they want to give back, but they're just not sure of all the career options. So our model is one where all four of the programs, students in any one of those programs take the same courses in the first year. And that really gives them some flexible opportunities. If they want to stay in the program that they came in, for example, if they come in police foundations and they find after the first year of study that they want to continue in police foundations, they can do that, no problem. But if they come into that program and they find that, maybe personality-wise or my interest, it just lies more with customs and border services, because they've taken the same courses as every other student in justice studies, they can switch at the end of the first year. And we have some students who do that, and they find that they're really, really excited about that because the year was not a waste. They took the same foundational courses, which are very necessary to any of these professions. For example, fitness courses, law courses, criminology, conflict management. They're getting the same courses as anybody else in that program. And because it's a common first year, it allows us to have a January start. And so that is a fast track model that lets students come in January of an academic year and then be done the following April. So they do the program in 16 months. And that's an option that they're able to do because of our model. And because the model works that way, they can also spread the program out a little bit. If students, for example, wanted to do the program still over 2 years, but over 5 semesters instead of 4, perhaps they're varsity athletes, perhaps they had an ISP in high school, they want to spread that out, they can do that. And so it's really a flexible model that is really responsive to the needs that our students have.
I always hear students talk about the amazing placement opportunities, and I can remember from my time being a student as well, placement was my absolute favorite. Can you tell us a little bit about these placements that are offered within these different programs?
Definitely, and I'm really glad to hear you say that, because that rings true for many of our students. Really, placement for them is the icing on the cake, where they get to take what they've learned in the hands-on learning and apply it in the field. They get to really get a taste for what's out there. And because our model offers 2 placements, so in second year of any of the 4 programs, we have 2 one-month block placements. It allows students to go out and try their hand at 2 different types of placements. And because it occurs in a 4-week block, as opposed to, say, 2 days a week, the whole semester, it allows students who want to go out of this area and access opportunities they wouldn't necessarily get here, they can go elsewhere and do. Unlike some programs where students are required to find their own placements, we have, because of our industry connections, we secure placements for our students. So we go out, we source them based on the students' interests and what they're interested in. And so while they're doing that, sometimes they get hired right out of placement, which is really exciting. That's not with every career. Some of the careers policing, corrections, there's a recruitment process that takes some time, but some positions, they get hired directly out of placement. And so we have a variety of options. Just to give you a bit of a flavor, so our Police Foundation students, they are required to go and do a placement with a police service. As you know, you did that, right?
Yes, I
So
did.
they go, yeah, they get to do ride-alongs, they get to do, so it's really real. We have placement in correctional facilities, so prisons, jails, youth centers, detention centers, open custody facilities, community agencies, treatment centers, victim services, newcomer services. We have placements at businesses that involve the movement of people and goods for a customs program. We have some really unique opportunities outside of this area. So our protection, security, investigation students can go and do placement at CN Tower, for example, CN Tower Security. In fact, several of the security guards working there are our grads currently. We have placement with military police, private investigators, Alcohol and Gaming Commission. So there's, by law enforcement, some really exciting opportunities for students. And because there's the two placements, they get to try two different ones. They can stay locally, or if they want to go and explore placements elsewhere, perhaps in their hometown, if they're away from this area, they can do that. And again, some do get hired right out of placement, which, I mean, they're just absolutely thrilled about. And we are as well.
So I can definitely attest that was for sure my favorite part of my time at being a student at Loyalist. The placement, absolutely phenomenal experience. Can you tell us a little bit about the Justice Studies Interprofessional Simulation Lab? This is kind of a newer thing.
It is, and we're really thrilled about it. It is a simulation space, so it's picture it as a big, large open space. It's basically soundproof, and we have wired it up with some really cool technology that allows us to do hands-on simulation. So the space is wired for surveillance, audio, video. We have mock cells. We have the Border Services pill booth, so that primary inspection booth that we talked about. We have the ability in that space, because of that, to do a lot of really hands-on learning. So this is where we'll do conflict management scenarios without worrying about interrupting other classes. This is where we'll do arrest role plays. This is where we'll do our airport border crossing simulation. This is where we'll do a lot of really hands-on things that we can't do in other spaces because they don't allow for it. The space is modular, so we can arrange it and set it up based on the needs of the simulation that we're doing. So we have, for example, mock interview rooms, which also play the role when we need them to be cells, which can also be interrogation rooms. We have the ability, with it being modular, to set it up as a mock correctional site, as a border crossing, as a moot courtroom if we needed to. So students love it. We get to go in there and do some really hands-on, really exciting things with them.
You mentioned a little bit earlier the success that our grads have with getting jobs. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the positions that those grads have secured over the years?
Just to give you a few examples. So Nikki's featured on our program webpage on Loyalist College's website. So her story is there, and she is an amazing grad. She came to us, I think, in 2011 or 12, and she was initially sort of apprehensive about college, a little bit unsure of herself, but she thrived. She succeeded. She did incredibly well. In fact, she went on to university and really hit it out of the park there. Stayed in touch with us. She ended up getting hired. We were a reference for her, and now she is a probation parole officer, and she's doing extremely well. Chad is a student that came to us. He was with the Community Justice Services program, and he did quite well. And he went on and did a university degree, and now he's working as a Border Services officer with CBSA. Shelby's a recent grad. In fact, as I was mentioning, just getting hired, basically right out of placement. Shelby just got hired. And we have a testimonial from her as well. Austin came through Police Foundations, did really well, has a lot of really positive things to say about the program. In fact, he's asked about coming back and doing some guest talks with our students. And he's a police officer.
Wow, that's amazing. So some really, really spectacular grads for sure. And they've gone on to do some really amazing things. Well, Tom, I want to thank you so much for joining us for this info session and talking about all things justice studies. For all of you tuning in out there, I hope this was helpful and answered some of your questions, and we will see you next time. Thank you very much. Stay well. Bye.